This will be a general overview of our wireless remote control system at Imperial Industries. Okay, here is our remote control system for our vacuum trucks. It comes with a 12-volt charging station that has magnets right there. Expected life is 40 working hours. Okay, here's the remote control system, and we'll run through some of the features here on its operation, but in depth will be the instructions that are put together here that you should read for more detailed information. First off, you hold the button and it starts to boot up. Right there, the lights just went green. That shows the battery life, and it also shows the signal strength. Okay, the reason that the screen says 2%, that means 2% of the tank volume is where it is right now. But the reason it reads 2% is because the float is elevated up off the bottom to keep it from freezing and hang up. And the percent will keep going up as the tank fills. Now there, the screen went blank. You can touch any button and it'll come back on. So it's a timed out delay for battery life. The functions are blower on, blower off, jetter on, jetter off if your truck is equipped with a jetter. This particular truck is not. So it's just the blower on and off. And then there is a vacuum mode, a neutral mode, and a pressure mode. And of course the center button is the engine RPM after the PTO is engaged, which will be the blower. And then we have two valves. The first one's called intake. The second one is an optional valve that can be put anywhere on the tank also. One feature also here, if you hold it a second time, it'll show you your hours of run time. Like right now it's currently at 0 hours, so it's ready to go. Okay, the job number that's located down below here is C100893. That's just an identification number should you have any questions, concerns, warranty issues, etc. That number's handy to have when you call with some questions. Okay, also in order for this remote to work, you have to use the master power button, which is a maintain signal, and it turns green. So that means it's good. While driving down the road, it is recommended by DOT to kill your power. So we'll boost back up again. And on here, we have the blower on function. So you'll hit the blower on, the PTO will engage, then you can hit the RPM and the engine will ramp up. Now, before you can turn the blower off, you must hit the RPM so it comes back down to idle, then you can hit off. We have our features here: vacuum, pressure, and neutral. And it will also tell you on the screen what mode you're in. See, we're in vacuum, so we can go back to neutral, we can go back to vacuum, we can toggle back and forth. You cannot go to pressure, it will not allow you. There's a timer here that shows you how many seconds before you can go to pressure. Down to 2, 1. Now I'm in pressure mode. Then if I want to go back to vacuum, I have to go back to neutral and wait a little bit and then do the same thing. Valve open and close. So there's one safety feature in here. Should you lose the remote or something won't work, if you come and just hit the master power button, that's your fail-safe emergency stop. It'll close valves, it'll shut everything off. Okay, this currently says that it's in neutral. You can see it on the screen if you can't see the valve handle. So if I hit vacuum, it moves to vacuum. And if you forgot, oh shoot, I want to go to pressure, you can hit neutral again, but you have to wait for the timer to go down in order to go to pressure, and I'll do it here in just 4 seconds. Now we're down to 0. Now we're in pressure mode. Now we can go back to neutral again. We have to wait for our timed out. Going back down. And there we are. We're in vacuum mode. We're ready to vacuum up. The reason that you can't go between vacuum and pressure is you will have either vacuum on the tank or pressure on the tank. So you have to go to neutral and let it time out so it can get rid of the pressure that's in the tank before you switch between modes. Okay, also we will show you the switches on the floor, which you can turn the blower on, okay, and you can actually turn it off here. If you had a jetter, you could do the same thing. Same thing with the high idle. The high idle will not work until the blower is on, then the high idle will come on. Now you can't turn the blower off until you de-energize the high idle. Then you can turn that off. And also we see our sea level, and this puts out the gallons, which as it fills will get full. And should something happen where you need an emergency stop, push that master power. We're going to do something real quick here. If this is on and you don't want to use it, it will shut itself off in 15 minutes. But if you hold it and keep holding it, eventually it will go blank. Now it's off and there's no battery, so that'll save life. Okay, secondly, master power on. You can use the override system buttons. And what that is you would have to flip this up. Now you can operate your blower, and you can operate your RPM, and you can operate your valves also. But you have to remember that this is off if you want to use it in remote. Okay? Okay, that's your manual override. When you engage this, the remote control does not work with vacuum pressure neutral. Now you do it manually. Okay, and one other thing that we want to point out is down here is always a serial number and a model number, and it talks about the switches on the truck. They operate in the up position. Okay, one more thing with this optional switch that come with this truck is if you turn it on here, you have to turn it off here because the remote will not work. But it just helps if you want to open the valve and you don't have the remote. There is a factory PTO switch. Just wanted to let you know that that's just an emergency if everything goes to heck. You do not want to turn that on and then think the remote will work. No, that should stay off and all your work should be done with the remote control or the floor switches.